Mahadeva ki jai. Sitaram, everybody. Let's all stand as we get set to do Arti, as we get ready to do our second session of Bhagwat this afternoon. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam deepam grahana devesham trailokya timirapaham. जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान।
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पान ये पंचम वेद निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पान ये पंचम वेद निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला। हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही, हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही, जग की मंगल के आरती। Everybody.
को पाप से
है तारती।
जय जय
भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी,
है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी।
ये मधुसूदन की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती।
पापियों
Everybody.
को पाप से है तारती।
ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला। ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला। श्री राम यही pray together, everybody. Put your hands, close your eyes. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadisevitam Kaveta Jumbo
Paricharabakshitam
Umasutam
Kavinashkarakam
Namami
गणेश्वर पारपङ्कजम्
Sarvamangalamangalye
Shive
Everybody lift your voice.
Sadhike
Sharanye
Trayambike Gauri
Narayani.
Namostute.
Think about your Guru. Guru Brahma,
Guru Vishnu
Guru Devo,
Maheshwara
Guru Sakshat,
Param Brahma
Tasmai Shri.
Guruve Namaha.
Together, let's do the 12 syllable mantra. This simple prayer. Gurud Puran, Lord Vishnu is telling Gurudji, when the person says this prayer, lifetimes, janam after janam of pap, sin, mistakes is burnt away. Dear God, you have given me the opportunity to be in the vicinity of a Bhagwat Yagna. Prabhu, it's the month of Shravan. The word Shravan is indicative of the action of listening. Shravanam, that form of bhakti, where I love to listen to your glory, your worship, and just by listening, I am getting blessing. In this month of Shravan, yes, we worship Lord Shiva, but the modus of worship is to listen. Allow my ears to be penetrated by your discourse. Lord Shiva loves to listen to the Katha of Mahavishnu. He loves to listen to the story of Sri Ram. And for this reason, when you're doing his worship, you listen to these episodes. And in doing his puja, you are pleasing that Devadidev Sadashiva. Further, that Lord Shiva's month is mixing this year with something called Purushottam Mas, Mal Mas, Adik Mas. And Prabhu, this most opportune time that comes at the end of that 4-year period, roughly. I'm getting to do offerings. Maybe I'm watching you online. Prabhu, I'm getting to listen to your discourse. As we chant the 12 syllable mantra, dear God, may you continue to clear my way, take away sickness, hardship, difficulty. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's go again. Om Namo. Everybody lift your voice.
भगवते
Vasudevaya. Lord Krishna, look at this sinner praying here now. I didn't come to play, I came to pray. And I don't know all the mantra, but I know Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. God, you know, in the house we have trouble, in the pocket we have trouble, in the job it have trouble. Please rid my life of this trouble. I am here begging for help. I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but when we have to face the court, when we have to face the lawyer, the doctor, the bills, dear God, please hear this fool's prayer and change my condition, change my life. Om Namo. Come on, everybody.
भगवते वासुदेवाय
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai.
जय
Everybody have your seat. We Getting ready, Sitaram, everybody online, welcome. We are entering into chapter 4, the first scan this morning. We did the first 2 chapters as we did our first session. Now we enter into our second session as we understand a little more about what is Bhagwat, what is the purpose of Bhagwat, and how does this help me. It is very common that people think, okay, well, you have a Bhagwat, it's a Yagna, 1 Yagna, 10 Yagna, all is the same. But there's a little difference with this one, and we're going to hear a little bit about it. But in doing Bhagwat, this is not prayer for somebody else. When you are given the opportunity to take part, to eat the prasad at a minimum, to listen, to view the discourse, you must understand that it has to be done with the right attitude. There are some people say, you know, I'm a Hindu. I believe in God, I believe in prayers, but they don't believe in the worship. They don't believe in the effectiveness of the prayer. Think what I'm saying. We all do it from time to time. When things are good, we believe in God. We're good. But the day stress, debt, trouble is yours or mine. That's the day we watch Hanuman Baba and wonder if he could really handle the trouble that you and I are facing. Now, in all fairness, when you're diagnosed with a disease, when the doctor says, please make preparation, there's nothing else we could do for you. There's nothing else. There's no way you could win this. It takes a very strong person to hold to the God in that circumstance. It is not nice. I remember when Mommy was alive, this is the first Bhagwat I read in home here since Mommy passed. So for us, we're praying with a purpose, as you could understand. I was with her in the nursing home. Now she's a diabetic and pressure, and I have nothing to hide from you. And with pressure and a very stubborn attitude sometimes, to be honest, the kidney get damaged. So I was the lucky of the 3 children. I always get to be in front. Okay. There's a maxi in front. Excuse, there's a maxi in front. HBH 6835. We just need to shift your vehicle. We have a water truck in front to offload. Thank you, Uncle. And I was in the doctor's office. Now the doctor, we good, Sitaram Baba kind of relationship. And he says, Pandit, I know you believe in prayers, but I don't feel prayers going to help this one. She's in danger. And for everybody viewing, be honest with yourself. When somebody you look up to, my father died when I was young. My mother was everything. When it was time to ask prayer to married, my way feel guilt. When we take this job, leave this job, whatever, waiting guilt. And that was me and my mother. Now, in this night, I'm remembering, she watched me like a child. You know when children, I just always tell Shushti, my niece, like your mother leave you, you know when children watching you so and they're kind of frightened, but they don't want to say anything, like your mother leave you alone somewhere. My mother watched me like that. What to do, what's going to happen next. And she was afraid. And I cannot describe to you how I feel. I didn't know what to do. We all go through that at some point. And that test, when it comes, if you don't build your faith, your bank account in trouble, the day you want to call on a transaction with the links card, they got nothing to call on. Because that's the day you get test. That's the day you're going to say, oh God, help me now. But you ain't no God, we're in trouble. These activities we're doing is that trouble is going to come. Let me be honest. It happened here today, we're happy today, we're smiling today, thank you God. But sickness, surgery, accident, around the corner. In doing these type of activities, the person have to grow. In the last episode, we was talking here about how the Bhagwat is a tool. We was talking about, and I sure remember when I talking and I teaching you why it is bow, to pull the energy, to grow you because the devil and the evil forces are around you and they're waiting for a moment to attack. So you have to be strong. Today this session, we're going to continue in that discourse. When trouble, when tests, when difficult come, how are we going to deal with it? Put your hand together. We're going to ask Christian. Ladies, pull your knee. Let me do it right. Lord Krishna, we get the opportunity to reach. But God, if you don't permit me to sit and absorb what is about to disseminate from this text, it will fly straight over my head. I will not understand it. I will not grow. I will not learn. I will not be able to benefit from it. But if you permit this limited mind of mine to absorb and to interpret and to attach it to my day-to-day life, then I will see change. Help me, God, to understand what I'm about to hear. Redhi Siddhi Dada. Talk to God. I remember we come to pray. You know the trouble you have. Siddhi Sadana Varana Varana Sumiro Barambar Madana Kadana Kelal Ko Ganapati Kripanidan Jnana Khani Ananda Bhavana Dehu Mohi Vardhan Varano Bhasha Bhagwat Jai Shiva Ananda Khan Bhutanata Bhaubhaya Harana Bhakti Vishaya Nirvan Gauravarana Mangala Karana He Braj Chandra Mukunda Brajabhushana Dushana Harana Katahu Bhavaya Phanda Charana Sharana Le Anakara Jai 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 Jagadisha Sevata Shesha Mahesha Ja Mahima Mitra Veva Veda Bheda Janat Rahe Riddhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sadana Varana Varana Sumiro Varambar Sumiro Varambar Madana Kadana Kelal Ko. From your heart, Vrindavan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Remember, the focus here is not other people. If you are sitting here, if you are watching me and you're studying, okay, well, this is Uncle Paul Jag or this person Jag, and my purpose here is to only eat prasad, then you're wrong. When God gives you the opportunity based on your karma to be sitting, to take part in Bhagwat, it is not just so. But sometimes people don't understand the value of Bhagwat. What is the purpose? What is the benefit? Now we enter into chapter 4. The people, for those of you that were here in the previous session, all the children sat, all the godchildren sitting in Misharanya, they listened to all the different Puran, Shiv Puran, Devi, Bhagwat, everything. Bhavishya Puran, everything was being listed. If you go into Narad Puran tells you about if I fast on the Panchami day, I will get Saraswati Mata blessing. If I do Shashti day and I have trouble when the lady make the baby and she don't like the baby, postpartum depression. She doesn't understand the child. I'm supposed to love my baby Baba, but I don't want to see this child. Fast on the Shashti day, and Shashti Mata, the lady who gives, that Durga, who gives you the ability to make the milk. And watch how she just teach you. When, as a girl, I was single, I never knew anything about anybody else. I know I like passat doubles with medium pepper. That is all I want, and that is all I know. Be honest with yourself. That is who he is. I know what I like. When you get married now, somehow at the start of study, well, he like this Ali's doubles. Let me buy Ali's. I go please the husband. You start to think and love another person, and somehow how they like it, we will go with that. You absorb, there we. Who teach you that? I don't know. Because now you like the Ali's doubles. Go forward. The baby born. Whether you have $5 in your pocket or the doubles, that time, it don't matter what you like. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going on what I have heard. It doesn't matter what I like as mother anymore. When the baby can eat pepper, well, no doubles with pepper. And we like it so. When the baby wants red, we'll all dress in red. But somehow in the lady heart now, long gone from the girl, long gone from the single, now the girl learns to love in a different way. You know, so in the temple, you're hearing that child crying. You just see young people, oh God, that child making noise. And then the parent or the grandparent, what happened, Baba? Have a little patience now, boy. It's a child. But who teach you to love like that? Who give you that patience? You know, for me, if I see a dirty Pampers, I might scorn. But lady girl who now had the baby. I remember my sister was making these children. She tell me, she said, if you had a catch sometime when they're changing clothes or whatsoever and they mess in your hand, Mom, boy, I could do that. I'm a child. Okay, no argument. You did it, good. But you didn't scorn. Think what I'm saying, everybody, for children are touching on this topic. You didn't scorn. Agreed. Fine. Who teach you that? Where did you learn that? Who give you that knowledge or that ability to love something other than yourself? I don't know. But in Hinduism, the Durga in the form called Shashti gives you the ability to love and to understand in a way that you don't understand yourself. All right, another example. Let me make sure we're on the same page. I went to do prayers, and Vishram have a nice little popo, and the child crying. So I with myself say, well, like this child hungry for the children. And you hear the mother say, Baba, that cry, tell me if I'm going wrong, that cry mean that child want to sleep. That child want to bathe. Something wrong, the child get a cut, whatever. Who teach you to understand the cry of the child? In our Dharma, Shashti gives you that maternal instinct without teaching you something. You wake up one morning and you're a mom. And you have the art of loving what you never loved before. And you have the art of understanding what you never understood before. So in this Narad Puran, and that is just one day, Shashti day, 6th day, from the new moon to the full moon, if I fast and do prayers on that day, I will get that love. I will have that patience. I will be able to love what I never loved. So when people want now Ganesh, chow, the 4th day, do this, offer white rose, mix in ghee, and put it in the fire for Ganesh Baba. And in a marriage where there is untold trouble, you could have peace, honest, and who going off the honest track and they're going dishonest, they'll come back to honest. So now imagine how I listing it out for you, you want to know. So imagine all the students on the field writing all the tidbits of the information, and they want to know more because this thing going good. So if I fast on the 9th day, on the 8th day, on the 7th day, it have benefit? Yeah. Imagine, all right, on the 7th day, the Saptami day is the Surya day. So let me just touch it. Today is Sunday. So I know when we were small, my grandfather, them, how they used to do the prayers. Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati on Friday, Rot and Katha on Saturday, and Search Puran on Sunday. But if I went to somebody's home and I saw them do Surya Puja on a different day, let's say a Monday, I don't know, a Monday. How you could do that, Babs? Remember, there's more in Patra. And the Tithi, if the Saptami fall on a Monday, Saptami is what you're looking for. You could do it on that day. This is how Hanuman Jayanti doesn't only fall on Tuesday or Saturday, and it could fall on a Thursday. Shivratri could fall not only on a Monday, it could fall on a Sunday and you do it. But when you have the knowledge of the Patra, when you are guided by the proper Jyotishi, you would be able to do the prayers at the most appropriate time. So consider this. Some people have a problem in their birth chart, Patra talk now, in their birth chart with the planet Mars. People is call them Mangalik. They sometimes have a very rash way, very aggressive. The major thing in it, they see trouble to get married, stay married, or sometimes their spouse die. So you have this trouble. One day everybody want to marry. How do you do that type of wedding? In the Patra again, you have good days, very good, no problem. But in the good day, they have a bad time. So consider what I'm saying. If you ever see somebody get married, not this Friday, Saturday, Sunday tradition, sometimes Monday morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, they have wedding. Those people wedding have to finish before 11:30, before that 12 o'clock hour. So in doing prayers now, these pundits and them sit down and they listening things and explanation they never heard before from Narad Puran. They finish that. And then they say, tell me now, we want to know more. When people want to have boy children, girl children, how to do that? What they to conceive, to do Garbhadan Sanskar, how to do that? When husband and wife have to make a baby, how to make the baby? It sounds strange. But consider what we are facing with now for parents here. Imagine I have a yagya and we're planning with the temple. And we want to get all parents and grandparents involved. The way how the world is now, it is not like long time. Long time people used to have 20 children, and we was talking about earlier in the previous session how people used to send their children into the Bhagwat, and everybody had the history of remembering the little piece of paper or the little piece of leaf and a pinch of. They used to never pass out the person and walk with a bowl and pinch and honey it. So now if somebody do that, they say, oh my God, so unsanitary. But the highlight for these children from an economic perspective, you had 20 children and look, food chain for free. Send them. And they used to enjoy the Bhagavad, good memories. Now, children are coming with all types of sickness. And I need you to pay attention to this. Watch how times have changed. In those days, in my time, and older than me, the biggest problem was children hardened, they don't listen. They get a little scrape knee, they throw down something. But now, children have sickness. Children have autism. Children have Asperger. Children have hyperactivity. We have to watch. Now, you know, long time when you get parasite, you used to put little, how you call it, almond nuts and this nuts, and you make nice things. Now, I have to study who are allergic to nuts. You see, when you get a parasite from who was here before, how simple the parasite had to be. Because I know who is my guest. And you sitting where how we sit in, not everybody would know, but you could understand. If some people eat nuts in today's world, the windpipe closes up and you're gone. So Baba, don't do it. It will taste nice, but it will cause trouble down the road. Now, let me go one step further. Pandit, my children does make noise. I believe children free, let go them. Let them make the noise. You just pray to Krishna who, when he running rampant in Yashoda house, oh, he's so nice. The katha so sweet. But when you have Krishna and Radha running in your place, you want to tame them, tie them down like dog. Let them play and make the noise. They walk. The day they're too quiet, you're going to have a problem. That's the easy place for it to play. But because now of how children are coming with different problems, in this jug, Sitaram, in this jug, we had to get an ECCA teacher trained with autistic children to understand the difference. For example, the children, if I blow my sunk in some case, they'll cry, bawl, want to throw down themselves trouble. To train them, to hold them while the mother and father are going to do the press. So if let's see the children go there and they put on the projector and they're watching a little Disney, don't vex with them doing their work. For little children, they don't have the attention span like how we had, or beyond my age. To sit down and watch Panditsanal do that prayer, nowadays, difficult for children to do. Times have changed then. And the chapter we're going into deal with that change in time. The Munis are asking, how come Ved Vyas managed to do this book? Where this book really originated from? In our previous session, we talked about how the book for Kali Yuga was very useful. Man's lifespan is getting short. But what did this book do, and how we come about this particular content? Everybody, please listen. As Vyas is about to give the explanation that you and me sometimes don't understand. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha
Ramana Hari Bol.
Iti he Prabhu Vansanstu Muni Nagar Bhandvai Panya Buddhiye Kalpita Sutta he Barshitam Shlokaye Nataham ye Natiya he Jai Jai Radha
Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana
Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Sutta Sutta Mahabhaga Vyasyayatam Vyasadevayaham Katha Bhagwat Yeti Punya He Ayatam Bharat Ye Nakshate Yeshane Kritya Ve Vishwa Ye Ayati Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Remember the other day in your Hindu calendar, it had something called Guru Purnima. What is Guru Purnima? Plenty people gonna say, well, Babs died the day I call my godfather. And that is a good thing if we pick up the phone and we call or message Pandit Sunil and say, Babs, you just well bend your foot and sacrifice your family life. And Pandit Sunil is a real good person, you know. Think about what I say, eh? You have a birthday, you have a funeral, you have a get-together, and Pandit Sunil will leave his marriage, leave his children, leave the homework, leave the yard. I now talking with him. When last I get the pressure wash your yard, boy? Very, 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 very long time. And he coming by you and I to bend his foot and bend his back so that we could get blessing. That funny, eh? Pandit Sunil, thank you. Imagine Guru Purnima and we have it wrong. Guru Purnima have nothing to do with Pandit Sunil. Every day is Guru Purnima if you think about calling your Guru. Every day you should call, ever so often. But Guru Purnima was the day Ved Vyas was born. Ved Vyas is a part incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So on his birthday, we celebrate Guru Purnima because of what we are about to hear here. When Vyas Muni is born, he took the Vedas at that time was one big book. But he realized that this book, the science, it is like a poem. If you studied or you read Bhagwat Gita, that poetic language, if you study Shakespeare, you're talking about this dia, but you mean the world, it's interpretive, you have to study it to understand it. It's hard, it's difficult, a child cannot read it. And he is the person who breaks the Ved into 4 sections. And He was everybody's guru when he did it. So he started to teach all the different pundit. You study this Ved, you study that Ved, you study the other, and break the information so that the person, the average person, could understand it. Let's hear what happens. As Saunak Rishi wants to know, I never knew this, I just know that the book was for. I never know that it was this way before. Please tell me more. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Samb Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jai Sam Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Kali Yuga Yuga Ye Prativartan, Snana Ye Kin Hitayave, Kutayatam Krishna Krishna Yata, Kriparajye Namuniyatam, Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole Baba.
Come on everybody, help me.
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole
Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jai Sam Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Tasya Tasya Putru Mahayogin Samadriyeta Ye Kalpa, Evamaye Ye Drishti Paraye Yati Paraye Yatam, Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam,
Jaya
Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jai Sam Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jaya Samb Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam,
Jai Sam Sada
Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki
Jai.
Jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Do you know why we celebrate Guru Purnima? Because this person had drishti, or vision. Ved Vyas was his name. And what did he see? He says, I have the responsibility to guide mankind, not now, but long term. And I realize that when time is passing, this thing called the caste system is going to become problematic. Some will know the language of the Ved and many will not. Some will hold the information and many will not. And when those people that do not have the avenue to pray, to get help for themselves, they are going to have to live in sin. They are going to have to live with pain, suffering, and different types of trouble. Better I break this compendium, this one book, I am going to mash it up so that many people would be able to benefit. I look at mankind with an equal eye, just as the soul is equal within the heart and mind of everybody. But we call one woman, we call one man. We call one Brahmin, we call one Sudra. We call people different, we label them different based on, I guess, well, you know your mother, you know your father, their job, their role, you name it. You could put a label, but when the soul come out the body, back to God, it is equal. And he says, with equal vision, I make no distinction between, but what I will do, I will make different avenues available, different paths available for different walks of life. When I was doing the last online Yagna, I read this part. I'm just going over here for you. This is how dance, the idea of dance, which came from our Samhita, became an open avenue. Anybody could dance. Think what I'm saying. If dance is originally a method to use as prayer, when the person hit the foot, ta, this next move, te. Ta, te mean I bow to Shiva, I bow to Goddess Parvati. But it isn't limited to only the Brahmin or to only one caste. Anybody could apply themselves. Bhajan, Kirtan, anybody could apply themselves and follow this road that would lead you to God. In this yagna, for me to sweat a little bit and to get a little blessing, I cook in the next pahar, in the next session. I want to get my blessing. I have to do something. Likewise, some people picking leaf, some people doing puja, some people listening to yagna. But the information is available. It is not muffled. It is free. It happened at one point. How did this come to Vyas? At one point, his son was running naked like a baby. And running naked, the father is running behind the person, no matter the status, no matter how much knowledge. When your child calls upon you, the father becomes a servant. That is the natural order of this life. That you have to stop doing what you want now, as I was saying before. And whether you like the doubles with pepper, you have to eat the doubles without pepper. Your choices, your rationale, your time management changes because of the child. When the child is running helter-skelter, the father chasing behind the child, there were different Gandharvas assembled. These beautiful heavenly singers stood, but their clothes, they were changing clothes as they were coming out from the river, etc. When the little boy ran past them, nobody covered their body. Everybody was normal. And he is naked. But when the father came close, the Muni, Vyas, Ved Vyas, when he comes close, everybody hide themselves. And in the moment, Ved Vyas wondered, what is the difference? How is it you instinctively saw a difference? In his eyes, he sees one, he sees the same. If you want to cover yourself all the time. Why did you move different? And he asked the girls that. And they said he does not have the understanding of sexual or, big people business, or in any way, any rudeness or lewdness. He is innocent. Equal soul in the person, father and son. But the knowledge or the person or the adult or the macabre part of the adult in you, you showed regardless to your way of thinking as a Muni, you have the potential to be a person that would make me feel less than. Nobody had touched you. Understand what I'm saying? The feeling, you see me naked. As a lady, as a man, it's inappropriate. But if the little boy see me, well, that baby. Look at that. But the feeling is so different. Look at the feeling, not the person. He says, I am filled with all the knowledge of what is going to be called Bharat or Mahabharat, the book. I am the person who guides the text, and still I have the ability to bring about this emotion in you. And he started to think about it. And he looked at the strange nature of God, that physically nothing happened. Think about what I say. A mother could change the clothes in front of her baby. Nothing rude, nothing macabre. But would she do it in front of a man? The feeling is totally different. So Ved Vyas started to think about this. And he started to think about how strange this birth is. And in it, let's hear what happens in the next slide. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatma Namo Namah Narayanaya Yam Yetat Sarvayetam Prishto Yadhinaye Kinchat Vayam Yeshnaye Vachanasnanam Chandaye Tam Ye Ati Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah In Dwapar age, the third yuga, in every kalp, in every sansar, Lord Vishnu takes a part incarnation in this way called Vedvyas. On his birthday, we celebrate Guru Purnima. This is what Guru Purnima is, the coming of this guy. And he comes in this particular age because it is at this time in Dwapar, before Kali Yuga, that it is realized that the focus of people starts to change. And one way that starts, now this is where Panikishvar get in trouble, one way that starts is different feelings, different things start to talk to a person and they start to act differently. For example, imagine, I'm using myself, they're talking about nobody else. Imagine in Kali Yuga, people start to perceive things differently. And this is what Ved started to see first. Sickness, mental sickness. When you're reading Garud Puran in the house of Yamraj, what are the workers of Yamraj? People like to think it has some ugly fella with a big ring around his nose and different kind of teeth. No. He says the diseases that we face are the physical embodiment of the workers of Yamraj that rob you of your life and bring the soul home. So whether it is arthritis, cancer, lupus, those are the workers of Yamraj. Come forward now in this age, different disease as we were talking about the children. Think about the amount of schizophrenia, the amount of different forms of depression, different form of trauma. Children now tell you they're stressed out. They have to go to psychologists. They can't handle it, the normal rigor and stress of life. We cannot mentally handle it. People have road rage, they can't handle the traffic. They need to go counseling now for marriage more than before. But we have more technology now. But it is as if we're going off track. Vedvyas says, in this age, in the coming of Kali Yuga, people start, in Gita he talks about Sa Chit Anand. The chit is the voice we speak to in we head. It's just a fancy term for it. But imagine the voice in your head. The chit, people stop listening to it. They don't take the guidance of God in different ways. So imagine, I use it myself because it's a very ticklish topic, so I don't want to mash anybody's grass. I am a very big fella. I have a very healthy size. Maybe that's the wrong word. Unhealthy size. Imagine I get up tomorrow and I told you that I feel I am thin. I identify as a slim person. For who understand that example, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Sexuality, gender, all type of confusing thoughts are happening in this world. And the people, the other people, because I guess of racial, because of trouble with race, we don't want to make that mistake again. We don't want to say we don't, go down a path where we bash one race and break, and now you realize you are racist, and you thought that race was better than this race. I don't want to make that mistake. If you say you are thin pundit, you're thin. Think about, I am looking like a man, I have more beard than a woman, but I feel I'm a female. I identify as a female. And I'm saying this from the side, not to laugh at anybody. Think about the stress for the parents. The parents. Just think about the parents. Children could do what they want. You're a big person, you could do what you want. If you call yourself thin pundit, you call yourself thin, that's you. But what about the mother who sits in the temple? Your child say, "He what? He thin? He see? He watch himself in the mirror? You're sure upon it?" Watch how we pray is changing. And that is why I'm touching on this, to explain why this man had a problem. I had to do a wedding a couple of weeks ago. And before the wedding, I would normally counsel the people who getting married and their mothers, because these mothers that is be causing some trouble. So no trouble here, mothers are fine. The boy mother says, we have a little problem, Pandit. Put yourself, don't laugh, it could be yours. Put yourself in that home. Pandit, I have another son. He's the elder guy. He's the elder guy. But, and in all seriousness, the boy is homosexual. He's gay. Everybody's fine. No big problem there. God make everybody. The boy realized now that he wants to be a girl. So he tells his mother to call me. If you just call me Alana, let me say Alana. Change his identity, but nothing else. For the puja now, the vex come, he wants the pundit to refer to him as a female in the puja. Understand the headache pundits don't have it? When a boy wants to do the female part, let's just pretend the matikuri part, to dress with the urni and everything, to put the sindur down, to fix the sindur as a woman. The degradation because of the thoughts is what he's talking about. In this age, different things come in a person's mind. Now, I'm saying it from the perspective, there are people who fall in love with animals and think the animal is talking to them. Would you say, okay, that's good, that's normal, that is, go ahead with it. It have a guy who is drinking Baba Shakros in the bar, and he will swear, son. He will swear the devil is coming through the floor, and it have nothing there, it's not real. The line between what is right and what is wrong, what is there, what is not, what is real, what is not real, for different people is sometimes very thin. And it is a very funny road for parents in particular in today's world. Because it's so easy to judge. Imagine I telling you I slim. And the mother had to understand and the mother had to work with it. But not to judge anybody. Don't judge. Watch what I'm saying. In this age of Kali Yuga, when we talk about things are getting bad, this is just one way it is happening. And puts a strain on your Hindu puja. Because when you start to do your prayers different and you start to change your prayer, understand that if you don't do the prayers properly, things are not going to work properly. It is as if Pandit Sunil say, well, Pandit, if the people want to eat dog, hog, beef, and do the prayers, let it do it. He's a very nice Baba. He lay the way you want. But when you drop the standard of the puja, and now the prayers does not yield what you're looking for, the same nice accommodating pundit did not guide you properly, you turn around and get kicked for that. Think what I say. If he'd only tell me it would not work, I would not waste my time. It's a funny thing. At that time, in this text, Vyas, people used to have to sit down for 5,000 years, 4,000 years. We are doing Shravan for 1 month, 2 months because of our digmas. They would normally do to get the blessing of Shivratri, to put it in perspective, every Monday for 1 whole year, do not drink water from sun up to sundown. Do not swallow spit to get the blessing of what you will get in Shivratri one night. If I miss Shivratri for whatever reason, I want to get the blessing, this is how to do it. Ved Vyas is realizing that people don't think, their mind is as if, as Uncle Ramdat would tell me nowadays, people don't want to see God. We say it, and it sounds very easy. Well, you know, them young people think, it's not young people alone. Think about the parents who say, for example, in everything we train in with children, and Pandit Sunil will say, send your children to swimming class, send your children to dance class, send your children to running, learn a sport, whatsoever. Keep them fit. Train them a trade, them learn to wire, switch, God knows. We need more electricians and plumbers. But when it comes to prayers, Baba, they have homework. Pandit, you see, charity, we don't have time for that. Teach them how to share food and serve people with humility, we don't have time for that. Fast forward when the same children grow up and now they have education, money, and they have no sense of moral limit. You see them in different places because you didn't train them in that way. This is the problem. If the parent doesn't have an avenue, because some of the prayers, remember this is prior, Bhagwat does not exist. There is nothing called a Bhagwat Yagna. There is no yagna for you to listen as, you know what, I need to do more, I need to check myself. I need to get these children to be in the temple and let them work together and socialize and get better. It does not have none of this. Vyas Muni says we need to change this, because a time is coming when people become so against their own prayer, but they will be lost. What we talked about in the last session, it will be as if you are born in a drain and the filth of the drain is hitting you and you are becoming dirty, constantly dirty, endlessly in dirt and filth because of the nature of your surrounding. And when you get the opportunity to listen to the Katha of Lord Vishnu, it is as if you are taking water and washing off the dirt. In this way, with the confusing times, with the duties of people, when man want to do what women do and women want to do what man do, when people do not want to do anything, when old people want to act like young people and young people want to act like old people, when physically there will be a decline in the ability of people, when people become, just as he says in Gita, when people start to be very skeptical of God, their body becomes physically weak. Baba, I can't do the fast, boy. I can't wake. Shivratri, I can't do that on the sudden. But if we call it Juve, we'll do it. We'll do it then. Dullness, shortened lifespan. He sits down and he's thinking to himself. He says, what a fool. What a fool am I. I was given this time and I wasted my time, because all I did, I take the one Ved and I break it. There are 4 Ved, Rig, Yajud, Sam, Atharva Ved. And I taught, the 5th Ved is Ramayana and Mahabharata. And I taught different students to master the Ved. So today, when you hear people say, this is Pandit Dubey, Pandit Chaubey, Dubey mean they have mastered 2 of the Ved. Chaubey mean they master 4 Ved. When you hear Pandit this, that, the other Sastri, it means this person has mastered the Sastras. He taught them all of these things. And still, the inclination of sin and sinfulness, the attraction of sinfulness, is not being eroded. I must do more. He sat down and he wrote the Bharat, what we call Mahabharata, and he uses now the Vedic knowledge, what to do, what not to do, but he puts like a movie. The Mahabharata is a very good show, because we have the people who are acting like bad and acting like good, and it is very easy to understand. But if we were looking at Vedic language, where the creation is described as a tree, and the root is this, and the leaf is this, it is a little harder to understand. People get into the idea of a fight. Good is beating bad, and the children watch it on cartoon. We used to listen to it from books. Let's hear what happens as one day he's very depressed, because I've done the Ved, I've done the teaching, now I did the Mahabharata, and it still is not making a difference. How will I help people? How will I face my God when I have to meet him? I have wasted this boot. Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram,
Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram,
Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita
Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram.
viprahitayate yatayeyadam Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram
Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram.
It happened one time. He was sitting by the river and he was so confused, depressed. You have everything. He said it in his prayer. You give me the position. I have everything. I have the knowledge. I did the work. But inside my heart, dear God, I feel as if I have wasted this time. I did not do enough. And I do not have the inspiration to what to do again to help people. How to extend help to the people that don't want the help that exists. How do you help people when they don't want to fast, they don't want to pray, they don't want to talk to God, they don't want to help themselves? How do you do that? And with tears in the eye, with anger, with vexation, he asks in the voice in his head for help. And in the moment, Narad Muni comes. Narad Muni, you know in the movie we just say, Narayan, that guy, he comes close and he says, yes, why are you so perturbed? What's wrong? You is the one who teaching everybody to do yoga and meditation and jap, pranayam. You doing everything. How come you so vexed? Tell me your problem. Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram
Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram.
Bhavatanudhi priya yasho bhagwatamal yena vayasa tama manave drishti yena yatave dharmayati munishya vyasam tat vasudeva Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram
Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram.
Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Tell me if you ever had a moment like this. Understand what's going on with this man. I am the master of my trade, but I am helpless. Maybe one day I was cooking in the kitchen and I threw too much salt and I don't know what to do, but I call myself a cook. But then Priya had to come and say, hey, throw some aloe in it, it will absorb the salt, it will fix it. And a solution come. Talking it with somebody, solution come. I hear somebody say, try tomatoes. That is work. Sometimes the answer is come from outside, sent by God, but outside nonetheless. Not necessarily inside. This man is frustrated to the point he's angry because he does not know what to do to help people. He is seeing suffering, he is seeing sickness coming, it every jet coming, and he wants to know what to do. Narad Muni says, explain yourself. And Vyas Muni did go through and he takes his time to explain all that he sees. And he says, imagine this. And you know how you feeling when you have a problem. But you ever tell your spouse or somebody, you're confident, you could tell me what I feeling, what I going through right now. They were confused, like, may I know how to feel, may I know how to solve this. And that is what he told this person. This is the son of Brahma. This is an illustrious God-sent person. He has the blessing to rub foot, Lord Vishnu foot every day. And the first thing he tell him, I don't know what I'm feeling. You could describe what I'm feeling. And Narad Muni says, what you are feeling is your spirit not growing. You're stagnant. You're stifled. You have the potential to grow. to become a better devotee, but you are stuck in one place. Your shortcoming is you are full with the knowledge of God, but you are not teaching that knowledge to people. You're not allowing them to know about how to find God. You're not giving them the opportunity to feel, listen to what I say, to feel the presence of God. You're not giving them the chance to know what you know, fasting and doing the different vows when we talk about Shashti Vrat and Chaut Vrat and different things. Give them a chance to know what you know. You are stifling the knowledge of God. There are people in this age of Kali Yuga. We like to say God is as wide as the ocean and high as the sky, but God could only act and look like one person. God could only look like me. God could only live in my mandir or my church or my masjid. Nowhere else. But God is everything. He says you cannot hold back the power of Mahavishnu. In your life, you know what God has done for you, obvious. But as an author, as a teacher, you are teaching people to limit God. And you are not freeing the glories of Vasudeva. When a person allows for the explanation and the glory, when somebody say, you know what, I haven't Yag, I haven't Bhagwat Yag, come and listen. You may or you do not. Just come and listen and share with them the glory of Krishna. Then, by listening, Shravanam, practicing the art, that form of bhakti, listening, the discourse, the power of the name of God will allow them to free themselves from all the holes, the crevices, the moments when they could fall through the road and fall bad. You are saving these people. The exercise of speech burns away sins of mankind. When the slokas that are guiding the individual how to live their life, by listening, by reciting, by singing, they will get freedom from this mundane existence. So powerful is his name, so powerful is his glory. O Vyas, you have taught different scripture. You have taught the poetic language. You have taught the different itihas, but you did not teach the glory of Krishna. Do you then, O sage, feel that with all your vision and all your knowledge, you have done enough to help people find Krishna, find God, look for him and see him? It have people have a problem finding God. It have some people think God live in the mandir in that murti on Sunday morning. So I'll be good, I'll fast, straighten up. But when we cheating, robbing, stealing, lying, doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, God don't see that. Some people never understand why we say Sitara. That I could see God living in somebody that look different, they hear different, their behavior different, the features different, sexually, gender, they're different, but there's a commonality between we, God and me, God and you. And some people can't see that. It have some people, because one person rich and one person poor, your association different. So you know what, I can't see that. Some people don't have the vision to see God, where he really lives. And whilst he was explaining these things to Vyas Muni, he was listening. He says, in this age of Kali Yuga, if you teach people just how to find God, leave it to God to inspire them, leave it to God to entrap them and teach them the sweetness of praise, to give them maturity. I'm young, I'm reckless, in simple language, stupid, but as I get older, I find my bearing. I learn to sing a bhajan. I learn to put tulsi in my pot when I cook any soul food. I learn to be charitable. It have all kind of people that need help. You know what? I feel at this point I could stop being greedy. I could share. Have you ever gone to prayers and people try to hide all the barfi for themselves? You never hear about that? I was doing a jog one time and the people, I was a pundit, and the people make macaroni pie. I don't know why Trinidadian like macaroni. It's so strange. And it had two young fellas thief two of the macaroni pie. What's on Andy laughing? They thief the macaroni, they thief the complete pie and hide it in the kitchen somewhere. to get it for themselves. People will thief land, people will thief food. You have a tree in your yard, book it, the owner come in to thief it. There's no limit, but God does see those things. When trouble start to come to you, why the neighbor do you obey that why you get in it? Is it really what somebody else do you or what you did for yourself? And why? You don't understand God. The mind of the person who wastes these breath with all different other things, all different other thoughts, teams, labor, different ideas, this person is wasting their time, and that in itself is the biggest sin. However, as he says in Gita Mahatyam, if in doing what you're doing, being a father, a worker, or whatever your job or your role is, you could remember God. Let me just say, I bow by my food, I go down and eat. God, we live in the house, in the car, bless me to go. So I'm doing the journey, you know. I'm not in prayers, but you're with me. In everything that you do, this is why Christian worship is always there. Doesn't he say, do what you're doing, but do it for me? So you're here when you're giving the Siddha, you're offering the Parsad, you're doing different. Krishna Arpan, in his name I give this. In his name purified before it goes. And in doing it, Ved, when people learn about this higher state of understanding the trueness of the divinity, they will be able to flow to him. They will see change. Evil will not overtake their life. Hardship will not overtake their life. The devout worshipper of Krishna, in whatever plight karma will bring and put them in whatever difficulty they find themselves, they will be able to rise above it and come out of it by worshiping what? The feet of God. But the person has to do it with a good heart. I want to do the worship. I have 2 flowers in my yard and I feel I want to put one by my murti. Simple example. What you want to bring. Imagine there were plenty people, Baba, you're having here. And as I'm watching all it have people from Las Lomas, from Grandy, from all over sitting here now, and before it had different places too. And I said, you want to come and join? We have in here. Okay, Pandit, next question. What I have to bring, what I have to get, how much money I have to put? I said, me, I want nothing. Come sit down for prayers. And if you want to bring leaf. And some people didn't understand that. Some people didn't catch it. Because Pandit's supposed to tell you what to wear. He's supposed to tell you what color to wear. Because I guess in this Kali Yuga again, some Pandits say you have to wear 21 session we have, 22 session, you get 22 session of new clothes. And it must be orange and then red and then green and then tomorrow must be purple, white, blue, and so you're going. I could not accept that. This is why I told people white clothes, just like what we grew up doing with white clothes for prayers. But it doesn't mean if you had an old kurta, once it clean and it cover in your body, that can't work. It have so much a different thing to throw off a person. Of course, if you here to go and buy all these clothes, me going to do that prayers. The person who gets the opportunity to freely give. I want to bring knee belief, but I'm not going and grumble because I knee belief. That is all. Why don't you show you our flowers? I want to bring flowers too. The difference in that is that I wanted to do it with a full heart. I mean, I want to do it. I want to bring the wood. Vishram, I want to bring the line. I have it and I want to give you that. But sometimes Gita tell you, doing prayers, but because, oh God, I had to bring 2 quarters sada roti, I only wanted to bring 1, you know. You're doing the prayers, but you're griping on what you're giving. Then you may not get what you're looking for. Narad Muni is telling him, in these times, people will do prayers, but their mind is going to be full of darkness. And for that reason, the hymns of Rig Ved are not going to help the people because they will not understand. And correct me if I'm going wrong. They will not understand that I'm doing the prayers, but I'm doing it wrong. When you do your prayers and you go say, all right, I in Kurtan, Shalwar, I have a flag up in my yard, it have food done to share, as we say, prayers food. Parsad sharing, and I had prayers. The idea is when I do prayers, God going and change my problems. But suppose I did not do it correct. Do you expect to get the same outcome? Imagine yesterday I eat fry wherever, and I come to do my prayers today. Compared to the person who fasts and he picked the right flowers. We was talking about flowers in the last session. The little honey in the flowers. Suppose I bring flowers that have no nectar, and uncle bring flowers with nectar. Would we get the same blessing? No. He says, Vyas, you need to explain this to them. He says, in my previous birth, Ved, I was elected to be the service person. I was elected to be the person in charge of service, seva, to the devotee. So every time you hear Narad Muni open him out, or he take part in some lila, he's doing something to help the devotee or the listening public. Though Vyas had equal vision, he did not think about this aspect of how people's mind may not give them the truth of their situation. They may miss it. He started to think about Lord Krishna. And he asked Krishna in his mind, right there and then, please guide me on what to do. And whilst he is praying and thinking, Narad Muni continues to speak about his own work. He says, you know me, rubbing Lord Vishnu foot. Think about yourself, eh? You know me as a son of Brahma, but of my brothers, nobody else. Daksh, the guy who kills, who causes Sati Devi to burn herself. Daksh is the big brother, Narad is the baby brother. They're right there. Same Brahma is the father. But Daksh does not have the blessing to go and rub Lord Vishnu foot. To your best knowledge, how we get our work? And he's asking Vyas this now, do you know how I got that position? He says, listen, when a person is intimate in their talk, in their relationship with Lord Krishna, not the people who just do prayers and they want to put and do things to show. I'm going and show Uncle Ram that I could make a big mala. Nothing wrong with making a big mala, but do it for Lord Krishna. Don't do it to show Uncle Ram that. And there's the difference. He says when the person is very close to God and whatever they're doing, God is with them, then Adhyamika, Adidhaivika, Adibhutak, Bhautak, the three forms of misery you are able to overcome. Hear what these words mean. The first one is for mental pain. Mental pain, the stress. The third one is body pain. The second one is pain that is caused by possession by spirit. Bautic. People would say that is real. Well, until I plug my finger in the electric socket, I might think electricity is real either, because I can't see it. I can't see the air until I do some experiment to prove something is there. Then I might think that is real too. But when you're doing your Hanuman Chalisa and they're talking about different forms of spirit, or I'm using English words for children, unrested entities, bhoot, pret, etc., those things do hamper a person. It does exist. And it causes problems in their day-to-day life. And you want to get relief? Let the person listen to Bhagwat is the answer. Let them take part in the prayer. And the entity, because it is, the Bhagwat is entering the air, it have to leave. We sometimes see shows where in Christian faith they are doing, they're dealing with demonic possession. In Hinduism, we have the same belief. When you go to a funeral and you just put gold in all the orifice, zombie or soul or spirit, however you want to call it, do not come inside the shell. If you did not believe that, then why are you putting gold on the dead body for? This is why the different orifice, the different places of the body, are guarding it more or less to prevent possession. Sometimes when people are living and you would hear different statements, these are just the technical words. If the person wants to get to alleviate, let's just say the family is to offer blood worship, blood sacrifice, and it is affecting the family numbers. The name is going to die off. Nobody could conceive, nobody can get a boy child to carry on the name. Listen to Bhagwat. Do Bhagwat Yagna, and by getting rid of the sin, the curse of the family, you will be able to overcome it. He says, Vedyas, when a person is practicing the devotion, these three types of pain we just talked about, mental pain, physical pain, pain caused by the presence or the possession of spirits, then you could overcome any difficulty. Nothing is hard for you. He says, I did it. I am living example because of my position. Trust me, do the prayer, it works. And he leave him. Chapter 5 close. Chapter 6, all the monies now in the field listening to the discourse want to know, well, tell me how we come to that. What are you talking about? How is it that he get his big work to rub Lord Vishnu foot? Imagine if somebody asks you, you is the Hindu, when Pandit Sunil finished with the prayers, and I see they sharing the Charan Amrit. Pancha Amrit means 5 liquid that mix together. Charan Amrit means something else. Charan is from the ankle to the toe, the foot of Lord Vishnu. I wash it, the shaligram. And now I catch it back. And when you drink it, you get health, blessings. Good. What you drinking the washing and the foot of the man for? Because the sickness, the difficulty, the trouble, most of the time sickness is overcome just by that foot washing. For this reason, when you're doing the arti and you're walking around, when you're walking in top there, watch, you're going to see a little basin with some Lakshmi Sank and different type of shaligram. We just have to soak them after puja, and people who keep the baby don't want to come. Somebody going to die. Now for now, they're going to reach and say, Baba, could we have some water to give the person to drink? Tulsi water, but blessed by the touch of the foot of Lord Vishnu. He says, in all my life, I didn't know that I would be able to attain the care of the foot. People want to wash something called the foot. In this case, a shaligram, a stone from a river. I get to massage that foot. And the children wanted to know, well, what did he do? What it is, what prayers, what that man do to get that blessing. Let's hear what happens in this slope. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. कर कर हमसा विश्वया भक्त क्षम्या भेषणा ये अनुग्रह मन्या मनः प्रतिष्ठा जीशा जीशा ये आतव जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम 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 जय साम सदा शिव तब शरणम जय साम सदा शिव तब शरणम अहं च त्वदये पुत्रयाति ऊषिवातं ये देव शम शम प्राता ये याति बालक पंचय ये यातम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम 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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम. Remember this. This is how Narad gets the guitar in his hand, how he gets that position. He says, in my previous birth, I was born to a lady who just saw me as a son. All I was a little baby. All I was a boy. And she would spoil me. She did not want me to learn anything. She did not want to teach me anything. All she wanted to do was to play. And this foolish parent allowed time to pass, and time is passing. I'm 5 years old now, and the art of living with God, the art of becoming better, that is not taught. So the child remains helpless, because in the idea of Dharma, I have not been taught any good example. And one day, my mother goes out of the house to milk a cow, and a huge cobra stings her. And very quickly, life leaves her body. She lies down dead. And in the moment, the voice in my head, Lord Shiva says, it's time for you to go. This time is past. This time is done. And I left that place, now an orphan, now abandoned, and I started to go northward. And along the way, I heard of the passage of Krishna. I was listening to different people as they were talking about him. Hear what happened. Bhole Baba tab sharanam,
Bhole Baba tab sharanam,
Jai Bhole
Baba tab sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba tab sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam.
Eka evat tithyato aham da dravye vyapinam mahayate charya prishtam yatha karavyalokye yato. Jaya Bhole
Baba tab sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba tab sharanam,
Jaya Bhole Baba tab sharanam,
Jai Bhole Baba tab sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam.
He said, whilst going, I was a young child, all I had was a loincloth. And when you're walking in the forest, you're watching the beautiful animals, the beautiful flowers, the trees, tall and short, and they became my friend. And I started to pay attention to the things that were there in the forest. In today's world, we might call this a biologist. In the Christian world, they made the biologist the priests. In terms of history, Darwin and all these other people were priests first that entered into the attitude of writing down biology, botany, how the root in the plant is, how the leaf in the plant is, and they write how beautiful the flowers is. And the poet, the person who is recording these things, why is he a priest? Because when the priest is walking, think what I say, walking in the savannah, walking in the garden, and you could stop to watch the beautiful flowers plant. You have an eye with compassion for animals. You would take out food for the hungry animal. You would treat life with that regard, because it's God who made it. When you could have compassion for something else, that is praise. Because I see the value to feed you, to stop and mold the plant, to water the plant, to see the beauty in that flower, because that is the act, that is the work of God. He says, as a child, I started to see the power. How could God make the bee so smart to fly the way he flies, to hum while he's flying, for the birds to glide, for them to sing so beautiful. And I started to see, and while doing it without knowing the name of God, I started to see God in everything that was around me. And when I reached a place where bush grass and bamboo plants were rustling with the wind, it showed me that the wind was real, because something was causing the bamboo to rustle side to side. Day and night, owls, foxes, different things was living in that forest. In that dense forest, I came across spirit, unrested souls that were governed by hunger and thirst. And I realized that I am not the only person with trouble in this life. I am not the only person without a parent. I am not the only person alone. I am not the only person looking to find direction in this life. What am I complaining about when I can see God? There are so many people that are so lost in this wilderness we call life that they cannot see God, not one day, rustling the trees, rustling the things in their life, to see the beauty of the flowers. They can't do it. Oh, Vyas, don't be a fool. He says, I saw the foot of God at the foot at the base of a fig tree. The fig tree is Lord Vishnu. And he said, right there I sat down and I prayed and I called without knowing the language, without knowing the mantra, without knowing the prayer, but from my heart I learned to talk. And whilst I was talking to God, tears started to flow from my face. And he says in that moment it was enough. Please listen.
Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Rupam Bhagwat Vishnu Yate Kanda Suchi Paham Ye Prashit Sahamukhi Ve Lokyati Jai Kunjapati Ye Atam
Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Umapati Mahadeva ki jai.
Jai.
In his heart he says, I am lonely, I am alone. Why are you leaving me alone? Look at this dense, dark, ferocious forest. And I am just a child. And right there any moment, Lord Vishnu appeared. And he says, what do you want? You're praying so strong, you're praying so pure. What do you want? He says, I always want to see you. That's all. Never leave me alone. Understand, it is a little child talking. So imagine the quality of the prayer. This person doesn't speak with a false Hindi accent. This person doesn't use flowery language. None of the mama guy. This person is like a child, angry. What took you so long to reach here? I have been alone. I have been downtrodden. I have been broken for so long. Why did you take so long to reach me? And instead of the mama guy that we give to God, think what I'm saying, Lord Vishnu now has the mama guy and coax this child to calm down. This is Narad Muni in his previous birth. This is Narad Muni as a child. This is Narad Muni that needed help, but he did not know the language to get the help. But he uses the language of his heart and becomes, when he sees him now, you know, sometimes the person appear in front of you and instead of it calm you down, you get more vexed. And I need justice. I want you to understand all we are feeling. Sometimes people think that Narad Muni is this pushover fella and he's so nice and sweet. But remember, it's Narad Muni who caused Sri Ram to end up with a army of Vanar, you know. When Lord Vishnu plays the trick on him and makes him a monkey face so that he doesn't get to marry this girl that he liked because it would take him away from his prayer. He said, you make me into a fool, Narad Muni. He says, Lord Vishnu, you made me into a fool. You tried to belittle me by what he faced in the mirror. Because he had prayed, dear God, give me a face of beauty. Give me a face that will cause me to get what I want or need. What I need, but he thinking about the girl. But God is giving him what he need. So he made his face ugly. So when the girl see him, she laugh and she pass him straight. So he didn't understand. I thought I prayed to be the most handsome man. I thought, for sure I'd get through. When he watch himself in the mirror now and he see the Vanar, he puts a shrap on Lord Vishnu, you'll come on this earth. And you see just how you make me lose this girl, you will lose your girl. And you'll have to depend on all and only monkey. Same Vanar face. And this is how this person's prayer was so powerful. Lord Vishnu had to say, all right, I'll take the strap. I really do hear that? Okay, I'll take it. Sri Ram comes and depends on monkeys. Sri Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai. This little child calls on him and Lord Vishnu appears and he says, little one, what do you want? Whatever you want, I am going to get it. And in the moment, all the tears, all the pent-up rage, everything started to spit out from him. And he was telling Lord Vishnu about how his mother died and he was alone. Everything is coming out. And Lord Vishnu is listening and absorbing. And he blessed him that of all his devotees, dear little one, you will be born as a true bhakt of my form, of this worship, and I bless you. You will always see me. You will always find me. You will always be close to me. You will be the most dear person to me, and nobody would replace you. He says, how I couldn't see your foot. Listen to this here. Watch how praise is. I could not even see your feet when I needed you most. What are you talking about? You are telling me I will see you and I would not even see your foot. And Lord Vishnu says, from today onward, you will be the one to massage my foot. And this is why he says, Ved, when I was reborn, now as Narad, son of Brahma, I was given, compared to all my brothers, Kashyap, Daksh, and all the different munis, great people, I was the one selected to be the servant in Vaikuntha. I was given the opportunity to always be in the presence of Lakshmi and Vishnu, but it did not come from nothing. It came from understanding and listening to that little discourse about Krishna and all the Vishnu worship and the concepts. Therefore, if you take this information, if you take what you have inside of you and you guide people to open them up to understand the power of the name, the form, the force, the glory of Mahavishnu in any one of his forms, Ram, Krishna, etc., then you will fulfill your desire. Then you will have it. For this reason, the person who listens to this chapter, that is listening to the history of Narad Muni in this life, with the deeds, the mistakes, the possession of evil spirit, the confusion of lies and untruths that they experience in their life, may Lord Vishnu bless and reward that person to become victorious over the different challenges and hurdles that they are experiencing. Because Ved Vyas then says, this is the initiative, this is the stimulus that will cause me to write what is called Bhagwat Puran. And he took this, and this is why I was saying in the last pahar, that when you listen to Bhagwat, Bhagwat has a different sensation. It has a little more juice, a little more, emotion in it. Devotion is when you're finished, you seeing like you feel. You're seeing the Murti, you understand the crosses that Prahalad was going through, the different form, the different relationship with God. But when you're done, tell me you cry. By the time this Yagna finished, the tears that go flow from you as a person, but I didn't really come for that, I really come for the food. But somehow God will find his way inside your heart, and you, what you didn't expect to feel, will feel. For this reason, the son of Vasavi, also known as Ved Vyas, went about writing and procuring the different glories of Lord Vishnu that we now call Bhagwat Mahapuran. Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki Jai. As we take a pause here, you'll give me one song. Uncle, you have to play a little drum. You have to. This evening, this is the man, everybody, who fixed all the PA, all the speaker, everything. So we have to be very grateful for him, because without him, nobody could have heard his croaky voice. Let's join together as we celebrate Lord Krishna before we go for Nahuti on that side.
Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru Yada Yada Hi Dharamasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata अभ्युत्थानमः धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा की दूर किनारा हो। फिर कोई न खेवन वाला हो फिर कोई न खेवन वाला हो। फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करो तू ही बेड़ा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे। पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा
Prem Solomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. As we've come to the end of this session, let's all stand as we get ready to do our arti. So, having listened what we did, we explained this session where the book Bhagwat Mahapuran, where it came from, why did it come, and we explained the history of Narad Muni. If you understood what he was talking about, this is a moment you are standing. Why do we stand for arti? So you could see, better see the Murti. I want to see all that they are doing, and what I'm witnessing, darshanam, watching, when they wave the light like this, I can't do it. I don't get a hold. Maybe I'm home, maybe I'm here, but because of how I am, I can't hold the tali to do it. I have to watch it, and by watching it, darshanam says, I get the blessing as if I did it. When I circumambulate, when I do it 3 times, it is a shortcut method rather than walk around the Murti. So like how the Pitya in front of you with Krishna is on the wall, I can't walk around him, he's on the wall. So what you'll see some people do, they have parasad in their hand, they have water in their hand, they have a light in their hand, and they go around 3 times as if I am walking around him. And I am doing it to give them the light or the heat of the light, so that I am giving him that, please give me the energy in my life. Imagine Krishna is watching you now, and you are not taking a second to say, Krishna, I witnessing the arti, I am here, I have listened to your discourse, please, I need a little help. Maybe you have a problem in your life, like this Muni Vedyas. Maybe you have different family problem, maybe you have mental or some form of sickness. But it's only prayer is karma when you are working it, when you're saying it. Don't assume God is listening. You have to say your prayers and ask for the blessing that you wish to have. If you don't say your prayers, we assume one day God will give you what you want. But like Narad Muni with the monkey face, he might give you what you need and not necessarily what you want. You might pass the exam, child. You could get a C. You may not get an A. In this life, when you have problems, sometimes we neglect our prayer. I'm a pundit, I'm talking about prayers. This is a moment you're going to see them do the arti. Take your busy schedule out of here. And for just a little bit, dear Lord, I'm watching it. Let me get the blessing as if I'm doing it. This is the blessing. I need help with this, that, and the other. Focus, say your prayers properly, and we'll finish now. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam deepam grihana devesham trailokya timidapaham. Jai Jai Bhagwat Bhagwan ki hai aarti. Everybody, let's sing together.
Jai Jai Bhagwat Bhagwan ki hai aarti. Papiyon ko paap se अमर हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला, हे सुख करनी है दुख हरनी, हे सुख करनी है दुख हरनी, ये मधुसूदन की आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती, जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती, ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल सदमार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला, ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल सदमार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला। श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, जग की महिमा की आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती, जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। पापियों को पाप से तारती। ओम नमो नारायण, हरि ओम नमो नारायण, 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 ओम नमो नारायण, हरि ओम नमो नारायण,
Om Namo Narayana. Sing from where?
Om Namo Narayana, Hari Om Namo Narayana,
Om
Om Namo Narayana, Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to take part in your puja. For the month of Shravan, the month of Adigmas is here. 4 years we wait for the opportunity for the month of Lord Vishnu to reach. And I get to be in the company of good people doing good things, listening to Bhagwat, different form of puja, nursing Shaligram being worshipped on the Bedi, for example. And I get to witness the prayer. Prabhu, thank you for the feeling, for all the people who sacrifice, for all the people who bring flowers, people who cook, people who assisted in whichever way. Prabhu, so that we could get a chance to feel this and do this. God bless them. God, give me the strength that although I am living a life in a drain, I am surrounded by filth. Come from inside, come from outside of me, and bring light and bring cleanliness, bring purification. But God, give me the vision to see it. Give me the vision like Narad Muni and Ved Vyas to see you and your works in my life. Thank you again and again. Say prayers. We're going to answer the final mantra now as we close this session. Tvameva Mata. Everybody. Lift your voice. Remember, we come to pray. त्वमेव बन्धुश्च
सखा त्वमेव
त्वमेव विद्या
द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा
त्वमेव सर्वं
मम देव देवा.
Together everybody. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem Svaloma Pati Mahadeva ki jai. Pavanapatra Hanuman ki jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram everybody. Please have your seat. RT is coming around. When we close here, we're going outside and we have meals prepared, but there is where you're going to get your prasad. We're trying to get away from, sometimes when you go prayers and the little stray prasad on the ground or the prasad pack, children